channel. Today is going to be a sort of different kind of video. It is sort of a serious video. I'm just sharing my personal experience with sexual harassment in the workplace I've experienced before, because I don't want it to be like a sad video or anything like that. You know, I just want to be able to share my experience so that maybe somebody out there, if you need to, can learn from my experience and hopefully make a better decision if you're in my place. Yeah, so basically this video is my personal experience with sexual harassment, because honestly I don't think I did the right thing. But we'll get into that. I will, I guess, start from the beginning. So first of all, I'm just gonna say where I worked because I don't feel like I shouldn't say. When I was about 19 years old and I was working 2 jobs, I was trying to make extra money. So I was actually working at Subway and I was working at Fazoli's. So I was working at 2 jobs at once. I would work at Subway from like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then I would go to Fazoli's from like 4 o'clock to 11:30 or something like that, just working like all day. So at Subway, I lived like 1 minute away from the Subway, but it was summer and it was kind of too hot to walk there. I would take the bus. I was on the bus for like 30 seconds, but it was like too far to walk, but kind of too short to be on the bus. It was like embarrassing to be on the bus for that short, but it was too far to walk. So yeah, I would take the bus in the morning, and sometimes honestly I was late because sometimes the bus would come a few minutes late and then I would be there. Even if it was just like 1 or a couple minutes late, I would be there a little bit late. Now, to kind of introduce the names of who I'm going to be talking about, I guess I'll use different names. For the specific person that sexually harassed me, we'll call him Rick. So yeah, I would be late sometimes to work because the bus ran a little bit late. Not to Fazoli's, well, sometimes I was late there too, but this is specifically talking about Subway because Subway is the place where this happened. This happened at Subway. So I would sometimes be late to work like a few minutes because the bus would run late. And so I remember one day, we'll call him Rick. He was an assistant manager at the Subway. I remember one day I came in, I was a few minutes late. He was like, if you come in late anymore, I mean, you're gonna have to let me know beforehand. And me, I'm late all the time, so like I completely understand that. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Like, I'll definitely let you know. The bus runs latest. Sometimes the bus runs late, like I might be late again. Yeah, that was like his slight subtle way of getting my number, but honestly I didn't realize it at the time, because if you think about it, like any place I've ever worked before, I always have the manager's number because I have to call in or I text and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be a few minutes late. So it's not weird to have your manager's number or your supervisor or whatever. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It's just not a weird thing for your manager to ask for your number so that he knows if you're late. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I gave him my number. I was like, I'll definitely let you know if I'm ever late again. So the problems literally started that day. Like the same day I gave him my number so that I wasn't late, the problem started that day. I went into work, everything was normal that day. And I remember I went home later and I got a text message from Rick. And I was like, okay, like normally my manager doesn't text me outside of work. This is kind of creepy. So I opened up my text message and he like said something like, oh, you looked very nice today and you smelled very nice too. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because like it's kind of weird because at that point, for me at least, I didn't know whether it was creepy or not. Like, I'm not gonna be rude to my manager, like, yo, get the fuck out of my messages or something like that. I was just like, yeah, thanks. I don't think it really sounded creepy. I can't remember these messages word for word, so excuse me ahead of time. Yeah, he said something like, you look nice, you smell nice today, and I was like, yeah, thanks. And then that was it. So like he didn't say anything else creepy that day, so I was like, it must not have been creepy because, you know, he didn't say anything else. So I remember going to work the next day and automatically I could tell something was like different. It's almost like he just thought he like had a chance with me or something, because the vibe was just like different. Like it was just so different. I don't know what about it. Like I can't explain it. Only if you've been in a situation before would you understand. But like, or I mean, even if you weren't in the situation, you can definitely understand. So it was just like flirty, and like it didn't really make sense because you guys, Rick was 40, maybe even, I don't know, like 40 something years old. He didn't look that old, but he was definitely like 40 something years old with a whole like wife, kids, like all of that. And so I was just very confused and very uncomfortable, and just with the flirting and like little movements or like just bumping me, you know. And I'm like I didn't find it amusing, didn't find it cute, I didn't find it like flattering. I was just like, this is weird, like what? yeah, so a few weeks went by where it was just like him casually texting me like something weird, just like he did the first day, just like, you look nice, you smell nice, wouldn't it be nice if da-da-da, just like random creepy things, when I just didn't say anything back to him. And I was like, I was like, you know, this is like really inappropriate, like you make me like feel really weird going to work. Like, I would honestly just confront it head on, and he's just like, oh, no, you know, I didn't mean it like that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what do you mean it like that? And so yeah, so I didn't say anything about it for a while. Like, this went on for a few weeks. He was an assistant manager, and like at the time, honestly, the owner, we'll call him Donald. So Donald and Rick were like really close friends. So like they literally did stuff together, had like birthday parties, hung out, like knew each other's family type shit. So that's why I think I didn't feel comfortable saying anything, and I let this go on for a few weeks. Actually, it was more than a few weeks. It's like a really long ass time, like probably the whole time I worked there until I quit. I just let him like text me things and like gross stuff, and I'd be like, that's inappropriate, like, can you not text me? Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, like, I'll never do it again, blah 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 blah. Keep it professional from here on out, whatever. It never happened. Like, he would just go back to doing it after so many days, and eventually I was just like sick of it. I was like, if you don't stop texting me weird stuff, I'm going to tell the manager. Like, I'm going to send him screenshots of what you're saying to me, and like I'm going to make a problem out of it. The weird thing about it is that he would text me this stuff and be really gross outside of work, but when we were at work, it was like he was a totally different person. He was super nice, respectful, just like super chill at work, and then it would surprise me when I would go home and he was super disgusting outside of work, you know? So then he starts pressuring me to download this app called WhatsApp. Literally, I've never had this app except for this. By the way, I literally tried to download the app to get all the red receipts and screenshots, but I guess it didn't keep messages from so long ago, which is understandable, but I wish I would have the messages to show you guys, because I literally had to download WhatsApp because I was still late sometimes, you guys, and he said that he wasn't using his phone messages anymore. I don't know why I believe this, I have no idea. But he said that he wasn't using his phone messages anymore and that he needed to use WhatsApp, because I don't fucking know. He was Indian, and like he had family in India and was like always like texting and messaging them, and he said that that was his only way that he was going to be using from now on to communicate. So if I wanted to tell him that I'm gonna be late, that I'll have to use WhatsApp. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna be late again because I don't want to download this fucking app. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to download WhatsApp to give you like another way to message me. But of course, I was late again. So I had to download the app, and I texted him on the app. It's like literally with your phone number, so I don't understand the point of WhatsApp. But I guess it's like a more private mess. I have no idea. But he was like really like pressuring me to download that app, so I was late and I had to text him on the dumbass app like, yeah, I'm gonna be late, da-da-da. And that's when like the intense stuff started and like the physical stuff at work started. And at this point, like, I'm starting to tell other people, like people that I know at work, like friends or coworkers, like I'm starting to tell them like, yo, this dude's like mad weird, like he's been texting me some weird stuff, like what should I do? And they're like, oh, that's just how he is, oh, that's just how he is, he's just creepy and old, and like that's just how he is. I'm like, well, could he not be? Like, you know, like what am I supposed to do with that answer? And other people were like, oh yeah, he's just creepy, like it's like a joke. They're like, oh yeah, he's super creepy, yeah, he's been texting Lexi. I'm like, I'm the one experiencing this, you know? So anyway, after I downloaded WhatsApp, that's when like the messages started to get more intense. I was only 19 at the time, and he was literally asking me like, did I want to go out and get drinks? And like, oh yeah, you don't have to be 21, I could go buy alcohol and we can like go just chill in a car somewhere. I'm like, who are you? Like, what part of no and stop texting me, like, do you not understand? And at this point, honestly, I definitely agree. I should have sent the screenshots messages over to the owner, but honestly, I didn't really feel like anything would happen because they were best friends. They were literally best friends. And so yeah, it just kept going on and on. He's texting me these disgusting things, literally saying he wants to buy me alcohol and I'm not even 21 yet. And then I remember one day at work, he actually had the balls to like say something gross. I remember he was like, have you seen that Rihanna video, Wild Thoughts? And I was like, no. And I think I had saw, but I was just like confused on what, like, where are you getting at? And he was like, yeah, like you look so good in something like that. I just walked away. I was like, you're disgusting. Like, you guys don't understand. I literally never said anything back to him. I never led him on. I never led him to believe that I could ever be interested, because like I said, he was like 40 years old, ugly, married, with kids. Like, no. And it's like he was always like trying to get close to me, like whatever it was, like reaching across the thing, like getting like this close to my face, just always using an excuse to like be all up in my face. There was this other instance I remember when I was like back in the back and I was on my phone, because if you worked at Subway you understand there's literally not shit to do all day long ever. So one day I remember I was in the back of the store, I was on my phone just chilling, not doing anything, and I was just back there just like texting on my phone, and I was swinging my legs like on the table, because I was on the table, and I was just like texting, swinging my legs, trying to ignore him, just like, you're over there, I'm over here, let's not talk to each other. He was like, why are you swinging your legs back and forth? And I was like, I don't know, it was just like a habit. I was just like swinging my legs, just like texting my phone in the back. And he was like, stop swinging your legs back and forth. And I was like, okay, psycho. And I was like, okay, so I stopped. But then I started texting again, and I was just like naturally like swinging my legs. It's just like a natural thing. I don't know why I do it. I just like swing my legs, and I'm sitting on top of like a table or a counter. I just like swing my legs. It's just like a thing. So I remember like he used it as an excuse to touch me. Like he literally used me swinging my legs as an excuse to touch me. He came over and was like, stop. And he like put his arm like on my leg, like all the way close. He put his hand like all the way up on the top of my thigh and was like, stop. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll stop swinging my legs. And I was like, oh my god. I remember like texting my friend, and I was like, oh my god, you'll never believe what just happened, because he like literally touched the top of my leg, and like I got so much satisfaction out of it. Like you have no idea, like this smile, like the smile on his face, it was fucking disgusting. I honestly can't remember how many instances that we have like this, the exact instances and the exact disgusting text messages that he would send to me all the time. I can only remember like a little bit of it, because this was over 2 years ago, you guys. The last thing that happened that, first of all, drove me to quit, second of all, made me text the owner everything that he's ever said before in the past, including my replies back to him telling him to stop repeatedly. One day it was after work, and I was like, oh my god, like nothing, he hadn't said anything I'm on. I was like, it's getting better, I'm just like focusing on positivity, it's just going away. And then he texted me, and he was like, you know, the security cameras, he was like, I know that the owner doesn't watch them all the time. And I was like, so like, what's your point? I thought he was gonna say something about like somebody broke in. I was like, what's your point? He was like, yeah, we can definitely try some stuff out in the morning. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I had given him no idea, no reply to him, I'd never led him on. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is it? And he was like, yeah, I'm dying to taste your lips. I was like, yo, I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I'm telling the owner tomorrow. And he was like, no, don't do that. He's like, we can try things out in the morning. Basically, I don't remember what he said, but he was saying that he wanted to fuck me in the bathroom in the morning before work. And I was like, that's it. Like, I'm not about to keep it. Dude just said, like, I'm not about to go into work tomorrow, possibly get raped in the Subway bathroom, just because I didn't have the guts to tell the owner. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell the owner, because he's talking about having sex with me in the bathroom at work when no one's there. I'm not gonna go to work and just pretend like that didn't happen. So I compiled a bunch of screenshots of text messages, and I sent them over to the owner, and I was like, look what's going on. Like, look at the way he talks to me, what he's saying, like the disgusting things that I have to deal with, because he's disgusting. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'll definitely talk to him and see what we need to do, and blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, yes, like I did it. Everything's gonna change. Everything's okay. Like, stick up for myself. Yeah. So like the next day at work, it was like really awkward, because I had told, and he didn't talk to me, like didn't look at me or anything like that. And then when I went home, it was literally the exact same thing. Like, he was sending me text messages all over again. I was like, I quit. I literally texted the manager, and I was like, I quit. I was like, I can't work here anymore, because you're not doing anything about it, because that's your bestie and it hasn't stopped. He's obviously not going to stop. I mean, if I told you and sent you the screenshots, what else am I supposed to do? And so at that point, because I already had another job as always, I just quit. I literally just quit. And I wish I hadn't quit, not because I still want to work at Subway. It's just that I don't feel like I should have had to sacrifice my job because somebody was sexually harassing me. Like, it should have been taken care of. Like, when I sent you the messages, you should have taken care of it to where I didn't have to quit. He wasn't going to do anything. Like, that was his best friend, and it's just annoying. I remember whenever I texted him that stuff, whenever I sent the owner the messages, Rick literally texted me. He was like, delete our messages, delete our messages. I was like, you do know I'm the one who told, right? And I just didn't believe that him talking to him would be enough anyway, because what is talking to him gonna do? Like, what will it do to make him stop talking to me? He's not going to admit that he's doing it. I've already showed you what he's done, so why couldn't action be taken? Like, what is talking to him gonna do? So the reason I'm telling this is because I literally, first of all, waited way too long to say anything at the job. I let this go on for a super long time, scared that even if I did say something, nothing would happen. So I didn't say anything for a very long time. I was like, nothing's gonna happen, so why should I say anything anyway? And that's really not the attitude that you should have when stuff like this happens to you. You should speak up anyway, regardless if something's gonna happen or not, just to be able to say that you spoke up. And now that I've quit the subway years later, I know about stuff like Me Too movement, where it's like sexual harassment in the workplace, and sexual assault. And also, I know about rights to have a job. Like, you have a right to work in a job, an equal opportunity job that will protect you. You know, what kills me is that most jobs have a zero tolerance sexual harassment policy. And I was literally just talking about this the other day. It definitely shouldn't be called zero tolerance, because it should be called a little tolerance, like a little tolerance policy, because y'all do have a little tolerance for it. If it was a zero tolerance policy, then when I send you screenshots of someone explicitly saying they want to have sex with me in the bathroom before work, you should do something about it. Put them on corrective action, suspend them, do something, not have a conversation. That's having a low tolerance, not zero tolerance, for sexual harassment. I don't feel like, as women or men, because men are sexually harassed too, that we have enough protection in the workplace, and it pisses me off. Even at my job I have now, I've had encounters with people as well where I've had to go speak with management. They're like, yeah, if it happens again, come see us. I'm like, so you have a low tolerance then? It's not zero tolerance, you have a low tolerance. But anyway, I feel like if you work at a job where you're sexually harassed and you know, speak up about it and nothing is being done, I say to take legal action, bitch. Like, get a lawyer, be like, if my job's not gonna handle it, bitch, I'll handle it. The fuck? Yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys my story. I know everybody has similar stories like this. Even if you think it's something small and so stupid, I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably not small and it's probably not stupid. It just sucks that we have to leave jobs and like do the most just to be able to come to work and be comfortable. If you're going through this, you're definitely not alone. I've went through this before, and if I have any advice to give, it's to speak up as soon as possible. And if your job doesn't want to help you, look for help elsewhere, because there is help elsewhere that will take action if your job is unwilling to take action. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video and listening to my story. I am 100% certain I will never be sexually harassed again, because I will never let it happen to me again. And if it did, I know my resources and where to go about it, and you guys should too. If you don't research it, look it up. If you're going through it, you have options, girl. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video and listening to me tell you guys about what happened to me. If you like this video and me doing like kind of story time stuff like that, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We are almost to 200 subscribers. I am done ranting about it. I just wanted to share my story. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you're watching this, have a great rest of your week. If you're having a bad week, have a great rest of your life. Bye guys.